Hello and welcome to the 30k channel, a channel dedicated to games set in the HORUS Heresy. I'm your host David Brains, and today I'd like to welcome Matt Kane and his Ultramarines. Hello. G'day. And I'd like to welcome Ed, who is an Iron Hands player, but you're commanding the Wordbearers force today, is that right?
I'm indeed, yes. Yeah.
Excellent news. Now this game has come about, I recently attended the MKA hobby camp a couple of weeks ago in Cheltenham. Had a really great time. Matt and I had previously chatted at other events previously, but Matt said to me, you know, why don't we get the Ultras on, get some Wordbearers on, get some Calth kind of action going on and showcase some amazing models in a huge game, and here we are. So what a great idea, Matt.
Definitely.
Awesome.
It's going to be great fun.
It's good fun. It's worth noting as well that we've got Lee today with us. Now he's sat behind the camera taking photos and making sure we're getting our rules right and getting everything right. But we're all members of AKA.
Standing in a particularly Lorgar-esque
He is a rather dominant pose there, imposing pose. So we're all members of MKA and attended your course, so we're all familiar with the method and the strategies employed by your course. And on that course there was Andy and Henry, is that right?
Yeah.
Cool. What a great time doing that. So we've got an amazing game for you today. Wordbearers, Ultramarines, 5,000 points each.
We've got 5,000 points of Wordbearers, led by Lorgar Aurelian, running Pride of the Legion. Leading the Wordbearers today, we've got Lorgar Aurelian, Zardu Layak with his Blade Slaves, Chaplain, Master of Signal. Elites bringing the 10 Galvor back to the table. They're going to be hitching a lift in the Mastodon and basically packing a heavy punch there. Second elite choice, we're running a Contemptor with Kiri's Pattern Assault Cannon and combat weapon with Bolter. The third elite choice to take to the table is the Malgar Tainted Dreadnought, one of the Wordbearers elite heavy hitting units, on with the Cursed Bolt Spitter, Tainted Power Claw and Warp 5 Plasma Cannon. And as Pride of the Legion, we're taking 2 veteran tactical squads as troop choices. One of them is going to be transported by Rhino. Sergeants will be both on with power swords and clad in artificer armour. And then we'll be running 2 plasma gun tactical support squads in Rhinos, followed close by a 5-man melter tactical support squad to bring a little bit of armour punching weaponry to the table. And finally we've got an 8-man rotor cannon tactical support squad to rain death on the Ultramarines. The fast attack consists of a Primaris lightning strike fighter with Kraken penetrator heavy missiles, twin-linked autocannon, twin-linked las cannons. That's also been upgraded with the battle servitor controls and ground tracking auguries. And vying for air superiority, we've got the Xiphon interceptor running in with ground tracking auguries and the classic Xiphon rotary missile launcher system. Heavy support, we've got a Leviathan Siege Dreadnought running a pair of Leviathan Storm Cannons, Phosphex Discharger and Volkite Chargers. We've got a Deredio Pattern Dreadnought with missile launcher, Anvilis Pattern autocannon battery and twin-linked heavy bolters. Hopefully it's going to scrap some Ultramarine aircraft. We've got a Kane Pattern lightning strike fighter. And the final heavy support slot, we've got a Vindicated Siege tank with laser destroyer array and combi bolter. And to top it off, we've got the Legion Mastodon heavy assault transport to take in the field with a Sky Reaper battery and siege melter array up front to do some serious damage and deliver that pain train, get those Galvor back in there.
5,000 points of the Emperor's finest, the 13th Legion, the Ultramarines, led by the Avenging Sun himself, Rabute Guilliman, using the Rite of War, Logos Lectora. Leading the Ultramarines is the man himself, the Avenging Sun, Rabute Guilliman. With him is the Invictus Suzerain squad. There's 2 Thunder Hammers, the rest of them have their Legatine axes, spears in this case. They also have their boarding shields, and they are transported in a Land Raider which has armoured Ceramite. Next up, we've got the compulsory choice for the Logos Lectora, which is the Master of Signals, and because the Ultramarines can do it, he's taken a Damocles Command Rhino as his dedicated transport. This man is my chaplain for this battle, clad in blue artificer armour. Back in the days of the Heresy, black wasn't compulsory for the chaplains. They were not heaven-sent worshippers, they were to inspire the army. He is armed with a power weapon and a boarding shield. Captain Remus Ventanus ends out my HQ slots. He is armed exactly as he says in the book. He is a personal standard. He has a power sword and his power armor. Moving on to elites, we have an apothecary, just a single apothecary in this case. He has artificer armor. The second and third elite choices is my 2 quad launcher rapier carriages. They've just got the shatter shells. Apart from that, their arms exactly the same. The final elite's choice is my Contemptor Mortis. He has 2 twin-linked las cannons. He is my only aerial defense. Moving on to troops, the first troop squad is tactical squad number 2. The sergeant is armed in artificer armor with a power weapon, and they are in their dedicated transport, which is a Rhino. The tactical squad has a Legion Vexilla. Next up, we have tactical squad number 4. They are a 10-man squad with a Rhino. The sergeant has artificer armor and a power fist. The squad has chainswords and a Legion Vexilla. Here we have a 13, the glorious number, man tactical squad. They are armed with additional close combat weapons. They have a Legion Vexilla and the sergeant has a power weapon. They do not have the Rhino. This is my 10-man tactical support squad. It's got a sergeant and artificer armor, and the whole squad is armed with Volkite calibers. Finally, the last troops choice, and because Guilliman is in the army, I'm allowed to take them as troops, is a 10-man Terminator squad. They are in a Spartan. They are very, very well equipped. They've all got cataphractii Terminator armor. There is 3 combi weapons, 5 Volkite chargers, 3 power fists, 3 chain fists, a thunder hammer, and 2 plasma blasters. The Spartan has armored ceramite and a flare shield. In fast attack, we have a Primaris Lightning Strike fighter. It's the Kane pattern lightning, because I converted it out of a Xiphon, made it a little bit more fancy because I wanted a fancy Space Marine piloted lightning rather than a Xiphon. It has 2 wing-mounted Kraken Penetrator heavy missiles, battle servitor control, ground tracking auguries, and a ramjet diffraction grid. In heavy support, we have a Sakaran Venator tank destroyer. It has armored ceramite. Apart from that, it is as it is. Second heavy support choice, we have the beast that is the Leviathan pattern Siege Dreadnought. He has a siege drill, a Gravflux bombard, 2 torso-mounted twin-linked Volkite calibers, armored ceramite, and Phosphex discharger. My final heavy support choice, and this is probably one of my favourite choices in the whole of the army, is the heavy support squad. It's got 9 Marines, 1 sergeant, all armed with Volkite culverins, hardened armour, and the sergeant has artificer armour. Finally, completing my army is my allied Questoris Knight. He is an Orc Tiller because their special plays to the fluff of the army, and that he likes to, or he is seeking revenge upon the wrath that is the Turd Bearers. He is a Cerasis Knight Lancer.
Okay guys, we're deployed, ready to go. Matt, can you tell us a little bit about the mission, please, and the objectives?
Yeah, sure. So we've got 5 objectives spread across the battlefield. The one furthest away, which is the key objective, which is the beacon, which for the word bearers, if they hold it, is going to be going to turn into a demonic summoning portal. And if the Ultramarines get it, then it is very, very key in securing Imperium Secondus. The rest of the objectives are spread across the field so that we can do our battle to try and hold them as best we can. Guilliman grants a special rule to his army, one of 3 things. The first one being tank hunter, second one being impeccable advance, and the third one being Interceptor, and I can apply it to one certain selection of my army. For this game, I'm going to give Tank Hunter to my Tank Hunter, which is my Sikaran Venator.
The word bearers, as you can see, we've got Lorgar, who's the overall initiative 10 buff, and Zardu, but foremost really is just the psychic abilities. So we've got Flaming Breath, Molten Beam, spontaneous Combustion, and for Lorgar, we've got the Divination, Misfortune, and Precognition.
Great stuff. So everything's all selected. You're all ready to go. Now, Matt, the Ultramarines have first turn. Is that right?
As it is at the moment, unless he concedes it.
Great stuff. And
Which
Ed,
with Gilliman in the army is going to be difficult.
And Ed, would you like first turn?
No,
Certainly
he
would.
doesn't.
Certainly would.
No.
All right, let's have a look. See if we can see.
Need some early casualties here.
Oh, damn it. I'm sorry, mate.
Never mind.
Great stuff. All right, let's have a friendly handshake.
All the best. All the best. You're going to need the look.
Fighting talk. Let's do it.
And we'll go on to Ultramarines turn 1.
Ultramarines turn 1 movement. So the vehicles with their men, they're fully loaded. They are en route to try and seize their objectives. The knight is striding forth towards the Mastodon to try and pop it in its rear end. And the Mastodon, the armoured conveyors are moving towards them. Sorry, not the Mastodon. The Spartan, the Land Raider, the Rhino, they're in a convoy heading straight towards the objective. Going to try and put it to the word bearers. The Sikaran Venator moved through the cover, passing its difficult terrain check to get a better line of sight. Also get his weapon into range. Over the top of that big boulder, he can just about see the massive bulk that it is the Mastodon. On to the shooting phase. Ultramarines turn 1 shooting. We opened up with the Volkite Culverins onto the Mastodon. The reason I did this is to take off the Void Shields. The Ultramarines also have an added benefit of if anything with the Legiones Astartes Ultramarines shoots at something that's already been shot at by something in the Ultramarines army, they get to re-roll 1s on the fail to wound and fail to penetrate. So we've shot the Volkites. They took off the Void Shields, couldn't do anything to the armour, otherwise it would have been nasty. Next up, we fired shatter shells from the quad launcher into it, and we took off 1 hull point, which was really good. I needed 6s to take anything off, but luckily enough, with the Sunder, I managed to get it. We moved along to the Lancer, who fired 6 shots into the rotor cannons. He scored 6 hits, and then he scored 6 wounds. And then with a 5-up cover save, Ed managed to make 5 cover saves on a 5+. What's that all about?
Outstanding.
So now we're going to move on to the big one. We're going to fire the Sikaran Venator into the Mastodon. He needs 3s to hit with 2 shots. He's got 2d6, pick the highest, plus 10 for armor penetration. Now with an armor of 14, a strength of 10, obviously means I need 4s. And I've also got the Tank Hunter rule on it, so I get to re-roll failed penetrations. This is providing, of course, I hit. As it goes in the past, I never do. So, because there's a massive, great big rock in the way, and I can only see the top bulk of the Mastodon, I'm being generous and giving him a 3+ cover save. Because I'm nice like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, rolling up, needing 3s to hit. 1 hit. Okay, so 2d6, pick the highest. I got a 5, which is a penetrating hit, so I don't need to worry about re-rolling it.
No, let's go.
Which now means you get a 3+ cover save.
Outstanding.
Which, of course, you save. Okay, let's carry on with the shooting phase. Okay, so next up, what I want to do is I want to prevent any damage coming into my super sexy lightning fire, the Kane pattern, which is going to come on later on. So I'm going to try and take out that Derrideo Dreadnought because it is the bane of all flyers' existence. So I'm going to use my Contemptor over there with his 2 twin-link las cannons. I'm going to fire away at him. Luckily enough, he is stood right on top of a rock going, oh, look at me!
It's all about tempting fate.
Luckily, I get a clean line of sight to it. Here we go. hitting on 2+. Excellent. Okay, and then strength 9, front armor 13. So I need 4s to glance, 5s to penetrate. Excellent. 1 penetrating hit. Now, the Deredeo gets a 5+ invulnerable save.
Right, let's see if I can.
If anything goes like it has been, he's going to save this as well.
The gods coming in here.
Oh, but what a surprise, he makes that as well.
Fate's smiled upon me today.
So, next up.
Yep.
Okay, so I am going to use Power on the Machine Spirit because the Spartan has moved flat out. I'm going to use Power on the Machine Spirit on one of its quad las cannons. I'm going to fire at that as well because there's not exactly many other targets apart from Zard, who stood there in no man's land on himself, but I ain't fussed about him. So 2 quad las cannons coming straight up. Okay, we're twin links, so we need 3s to hit, so I get to re-roll that one. No, just 1. Okay.
Feel the dust.
Now,
kicked up on them tracks.
again, 4s to glance, 5s to penetrate. We got a penetrating hit. However, there is intervening terrain, so he's going to get a 4+ cover save.
Happy with that. Come on.
Oh, oh my god. Okay, next up, we're going to fire the quad launcher at it. Now this guy, because he's got the Legion as a Astartes rule, he also gets to reroll 1s. However, he does have Sunder, so I don't need to worry about that because I get to reroll failed penetrations anyway. So I'm hitting on 3s. We all hit. And then it's strength 8, front armor 13, so I need 5s to glance, 6 to penetrate, and I get to rerolls. There we go, and 1 reroll. No. Okay, so we got 3. Now, you don't have a cover save on that, so you do get your 5+ invulnerable save.
Let's see if we can bring 3 more of these in.
Oh, he's not protecting you that much anymore, is he? What happened to your dark gods now, girlfriend? Okay, so 3 rolls on the penetration table. 4, a 4, and a 2. So that is, he's super shaken and stunned. He's not moving or shooting next turn.
He's taken 3 hull points, so he is officially wrecked.
Oh, damn, I forgot that one. I'm sorry, mate. Okay, continuing the Ultramarine shooting phase. The Land Raider took a pot shot over into the Leviathan, but didn't do anything. However, then I opened up with the Orbital Bombardment from the Damocles Command Rhino, which hit the Leviathan and the Vindicator Laser Destroyer. Pattered off of the invulnerable force field that is on the Leviathan. However, it penetrated the Sikaran Venator, the Vindicator Laser Destroyer, and took a whole point, and also made it shoot only snapshots next turn, which is a great result. I'm not seeing much stuff going boom yet, but I am preventing quite a few things from shooting, so that's a bonus.
Okay, so Wordbearer's turn 1. Rhino has gone flat out towards the first objective, the special. Try and take the beacon and hold it before the Ultramarine forces arrive. The Leviathan is slowly staggering its way across the battlefield after taking a ricochet to the head. The Laser Destroyer is having a sneaky creep around that central block of rock there, so he's going to try and take a snapshot, unfortunately, but at least it's on flank and side armour to that Sikaran Venator, so we might get a lucky shot there. The Wordbearers are now eager for blood after seeing the radio go up in a ball of fire, so they are screaming towards the Ultramarine lines, flat out in the Rhinos, and they've only got 1 chance at this. The radio also looking rather deranged. The Contemptor already looking rather deranged. I think he's going to take his chances assaulting the Ultramarine line, see what he can do against the Knight Lancer, maybe from the rear as he's facing down with his bitter grudge match. The Mastodon is slowly grinding its way towards the front line. Hopefully it'll be able to take a bit more punishment before it unloads its cargo. The Rotor Cannon squad, they've managed to get their kit up onto the higher ground there, so they can start to pepper the Ultramarine line, drop a bit of fire support down as the guys unload from the Mastodon. and hopefully the Contemptor can get that Ares assault cannon going, so we can take a few of the crew off that quad mortar before it starts to chuck down some serious firepower. So we'll see how it goes. Wordbearers, turn 1 shooting. Okay, so not too successful so far. They're ploughing ahead, trying to cross the no man's land, taking fire. The Mastodon is trying to lay down some las cannon anti-armour, but unfortunately it ricocheted off the Leviathan, failed to pen the front of the Sicaran Venator. The salvo of light shots coming from the rotor cannons only managed to inflict a single mortality on the Ultramarines holding the building. We've got the Demon Contemptor. He's basically advancing across the board. The Rhinos have gone flat out. Unfortunately, the Vindicator Destroyer failed to penetrate the side of the Sicaran Venator. And that's really it for us this turn. It's getting in position and getting ready to deploy and lay down a salvo of plasma and melter fire. So back to the Ultramarines.
Ultramarines turn 2 movement. The reserves came on. Luckily, the Cane Pattern Lightning came on due to the +1 to the dice roll on the Damocles. The armoured convoy has pushed forward with the Spartan moving forward and disgorging its Terminators, who are going to go headstrong into that Leviathan. The Knight continues his rampage straight for that Mastodon. Along with the Leviathan, the tactical squad has broken over the barriers, and the Sicaran Venator has crept forward a little bit to get a better line of sight. And we're going to pummel as many shots into the turd bearers as possible. Ultramarines turn 2 shooting, and now it's starting to warm up. So the Lancer doing his thing, charged straight in and popped the last Void Shield off of the Mastodon, which then meant I could open up with everything else. So the Sicaran Venator opened up, hit twice, caused 2 penetrating hits, of which 1 I managed to roll a 6 on, which meant that I got an additional D3 hull points removed. Unfortunately, I only rolled another 1, so that's a total of 4 hull points caused onto the Mastodon. The Leviathan opened up with his melter gun, however, didn't manage to do anything onto him. The quad mortar also opened up onto the Mastodon. That was the one that took the 4th hull point this turn, meaning there's 5 taken in total, leaving 5 remaining. Okay, so moving on, the Volkite Culverins opened up into the rotor cannon squad because the rotor cannon squad killed one of those. So in return, I absolutely obliterated them and wiped them off of the table, leaving a bloody stain where their bodies were. Luckily enough, the Master of Signals managed to make his armor saves after all the lookout sirs, and he is left with 1 wound remaining. Next phase of shooting, the Land Raider opened up with a single shot from its last cannon using its Power of the Machine Spirit into the Plasma Gun Squad, which is inside the building. As per usual, Ed managed to save his cover save, and I did nothing. So following that, I opened up with the Quad Mortar into the Rhino that's carrying the Melter Gun Squad, causing 2 hull points, which was great. Then I pivoted the Spartans quad las cannon and took the final hull point, wrecking the vehicle. The guys inside got out and ran for whatever cover they could find. The other quad las cannon and the heavy bolter on the Spartan also fired into the plasma gun squad that are inside the building, causing 2 casualties. Last bit of shooting for the Ultramarines, the Cane Pattern Lightning is going to lay loose off 2 Kraken penetrators and its las cannons into the side of the Vindicator Laser Destroyer. We're using the special Ultramarine dice to be the las cannons and the other 2 as the Kraken penetrators. Now, because I have ground tracking auguries and battle servitor control, I can hit on 2s and I can reroll failed penetration rolls. Ooh. And the las cannons have missed. 1 of the Kraken penetrators have missed, but 1 has gone through. So, Kraken Penetrator has armor base, so it's 2d6 armor penetration plus the strength of 8. We have a 7. That's a penetrating hit. You got a cover save on a 4. Is it 4, 5, or 6? Yeah. Oh my god, you've actually failed one. Blimey. Okay, so it's 1d6 for armor penetration. It's AP 1, so it's plus 2 to the damage roll. Here we go. Oh, it's only a 2. So it is stunned, shaken again, so it can only snap fire again, leaving it with 1 hull point. Going back in with the las cannons, it is twin link, so I get to re-roll the miss. So needing 2, we got a 2. And 9, 10, 11, so we're needing 2s to glance. With a 3, so that's a penetrate, so you've got another 4 plus cover save. Otherwise you did. Ooh, he's gone. Okay, let's see whether I can blow you up. Not that it would make much difference. It is a 4 plus 1 for the AP2. Makes no difference whatsoever. So you have 1 destroyed Vindicator Laser Destroyer. Ultramarines Assault Phase. The Terminators charged into the Leviathan, taking 1 casualty from the Overwatch fire, and then they proceeded to absolutely pummel it. They did also take 1 casualty from the resulting explosion, which was a mighty 7 inches and encapsulated every single one of them, pulling 1 down. They then consolidated and they are going for that objective. They've just got a face full of plasma to take en route. Next up is the big one. The Lancer is charging in, trying to achieve his mission and avenge his fallen Night House, being the last one surviving. He charged in, he smashed in a extra hull point on the turn that it charged by his Hammer of Wrath. He is now going to try and impale that lance all the way through the front hatches and out of the back. He's got 5 attacks, he's going to be hitting on 3+, and it's a strength D weapon. Let's see what happens. He has 1 miss. Okay, so roll into penetrate.
This is not going to end well.
Any 1s is a big fat nothing. A 2 to 5 is D3 hull points on the Mastodon, and a 6 is a mighty 6 plus D6. This could cause some pain. Oh, no 6s, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4 D3 hull points. So the 1 is a 1. The 5 and the 6 count as 3 hull points, and the 4 counts as a 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hull points. That Mastodon is a wreck, and I get an extra D3 victory points to my total, which is brilliant. Shall we roll for him now? Let's do that. An extra 2 victory points, we'll take that. I also get the extra 1 for the price of failure because it is a super heavy vehicle, resulting in an extra 3 victory points. The exploding result caused 5 casualties. However, the Galv Warback completely shrugged them all off, with Ed making all of his armor saves.
Yet again.
That rounds off the Ultramarine turn 2, which is pretty successful, I think. However, we are now going to be facing a face full of Melter, Plasma, and God knows how many Galv Warback running into our lines, as well as a Primarch. Bring it on.
Wordbearers turn 2. Reserve rolls managed to get on the Xiphon Interceptor, so hopefully he's going to take down the enemy Lightning that seems to be having an absolute field day so far. The veteran squads have managed to reinforce the falling flank. Hopefully they're going to push the initiative and try and beat these Terminators back before Gulliman finally arrives. As we look at the centre of the battlefield, we can see we've got some plasma gun teams that are hopefully going to fire out the top of the Rhino, get some early shots off. Most gun team's going to advance across the field now, try and get a shot off on the side of the Sikoran Venator. The Demon Contemptor is going to race forward now and try and get in some close quarters action. The Mastodon went off, but fortunately all passengers have survived the initial impact. So it's time to wreak some bloody revenge. The Contemptor's lining up its return fire, so let's see how this plays out. Time for the psychic phase. Wordbearer's turn 2, psychic phase. Lorgar managed to cast both the Prescience and Forewarning on the Galvorbeck, so that's going to give them a 4-up invuln and a reroll to hit. So that's going to cause some serious damage on that knight. There's a full-on counter-attack. So, Xiphon Interceptor swooping in. Let's see if we can take this Ultramarine flyer out. We've got 2 laser cannons first. We're going to take a shot, see if
I'm going to jink.
Jink, yep. So, we've got Strength 9 on Armour 11. Let's go for it. 3s to hit, so we managed to get 2 good hits. Needing 2s, and 2s to glance, 3 to pen. We've got 2 good pens. We're going to jink.
Jink both.
Oh, outstanding. You managed to barrel roll out of the way. That one.
That's good old Ultramarine pilots.
I think so. Right, it's time to unleash the missile volley now. So we've got 2 missiles coming in at strength 8. So let's see what we can do. Right, we've got 1 that's managed to hit the target. AP 3, 3s to hit. So now we get to see if we pen. No, we failed to pen the target, unfortunately. Right, so bringing in the orbital bombardment from the Master of Signals on the Ultramarine strong point there with the Volkites. Managed to kill both the Sergeant and 3 further casualties, so quite successful there. Unfortunately, they passed the leadership test. My Melter Gun squad then fired at the side of the Sikaran, but unfortunately it shrugged it off. Plasma guns then followed up, failed to do any additional damage. The Malgar then opened up with the plasma weaponry, but still failed to damage the Sikaran Venator. But fortunately for me, the Contemptor managed to make good his early failure and managed to blow the hell out of the front end of that and set it alight. So, yep, nice cheeky win there for the Wordbearers. Lorgar managed to take a couple of shots with his archipistol, but unfortunately failed to wound the Ultramarine troops as they advance over the barricade towards them. Chaplain's following up in hot pursuit. Turn 2, Wordbearers assault phase. The Galvorbeck have managed to make their charge, but upon charging the knight, he managed to get a lucky snapshot and take 1 down. So that's going to be interesting. The Chaplain then made his charge against the 13-man strong tactical squad, and Lorgar has also made his charge. So we're now declaring a
challenge.
So that should be interesting. So let's see how this pans out.
You treacherous scum! I will take your head off.
So Lorgar's got 5 attacks on the charge. Mastercrafted, hitting on 3s. We've got 1 miss, but we get to reroll. It's Mastercrafted. Whoa, all hit. Needing 2s to wound. It's not looking good for this guy.
That'll be
I think
5 guys dead then.
Now I've got the Chaplain coming in with 3 attacks standard, 4 on the charge, +1 for the Crozius Arcanum. So it's +2 strength. He's already at weapon skill 5, strength 4, so he's hitting him at strength 6. Ooh, we've got 1 miss, but fortunately because he's a Chaplain, we get to re-roll. Oh,
still a miss.
Never mind. Still 4 good hits. Needing 2s to wound.
That's 4 wounds. Now it's only AP 4, so I do get my armor saves. And I'm dead twice. So,
he's not having a good day.
Resulting combat means that I have lost by 6. Let's just take my dead. I've lost 6 men. Now, I get a 3-inch consolidation. That is not 3-inch consolidation. So, I can't get into combat, which means I've got to take a leadership check at minus however many I lost the combat by, because I caused no wounds and I took 6 casualties, means that I've lost by 6. So my leadership, which is normally now 8 because my sergeant is dead, minus the 6 means that I need to get double 1 snake eyes on these 2 dice to stop myself from running away. Which I fail. So now we have to do an initiative check. If I fail or get less than Ed's leadership, wrong, initiative check, I get mopped up. So I've got initiative of 4 plus d6. So I've got 7. Ed has got an initiative of 6 on Lorgar.
Right, yep. With a 1.
Is equals mine, which means Lorgar has just made absolute mincemeat of that entire 13-man tactical squad. Strike yourself up a victory point.
Thank you very much, good sir. Gal Vorbak now charging the knight. We've got 8 hitting with 5 attacks apiece, rending, hitting on 3s, getting to reroll misses thanks to Lorgar's buff. Here we go, let's see what we can do. Look at this lot. That's 26 hits, we've got 14 misses, but we've got the reroll thanks to the psychic powers. Outstanding, we've got 35 hits. Now we need 6s to rend to bring it up to 11, and then we need 3s and 4s to glance, 5 6s to pen. Here we go. Get them talons out. Great news, we've got 8 6s. Now we need 3s and 4s to glance, 5 6s to pen. Okay, so that's a fantastic 4 glances and a single pen.
Now it's my turn. The Lancer being the only of the knights to have an invulnerable save in close combat due to his shield. So 4 invulnerable saves at 5+ for the glances. Oh yes, I got 2, so I've taken 2 hull points and 1 penetrating, needing a 5 or 6. No, so we've got 1 penetrating hit gone through. I've saved 2 and I've taken 2 hull points already. Being a super heavy, the 6 on the penetration roll won't actually do anything because there is no AP value to their attacks. So I've just straight up taken 3 hull points. Okay, so the knight attacking back, he's got 4 attacks as standard. I am going to be hitting on 4s due to his superior weapon skill. So let's see how many we get. Uh-oh, 1 hit. Okay, now it is a D weapon, so on a 1 I'll get nothing. 2, 3, 4, 5 I'll get a wound, which Ed will get an invulnerable save against.
Thanks to my,
and on a 6, I won't. He won't get any invulnerable save at all. Give us a 6. Oh, it rolled off. Okay, so I've caused a wound. You get your invulnerable save. No! Okay, so see how many wounds, because it's D3 wounds. 1. So not even 1 Gal Vorbak dead. Now we have 1 lone solitary Gal Vorbak to attack back with a Power Fist.
Next up, the Dark Master is going in with a Strength 10 rending Power Fist. Let's see this in action.
Oh, 4 hits.
Rerolling 1s, thanks to Lorgar's buff.
Oh, no. So 4 hits.
That's 4 hits from the Power Fist at Strength 10, needing 3s to glance, 4s to pen. Come on!
Oh, there's 2. Okay, 2 penetrating hits. I've got 2 invulnerable saves at 5 or 6. No pressure. No! 1 goes through. Okay, so rolling on the penetration table, because this is AP2. Oh! So it's +1 because of the AP2 Power Fist. So that does an additional D3 hull points. Now I've already taken 5, so I've only got 1. So no matter what he does, he's going to kill me.
You're getting a rended fisting.
No! There's another 2, so that's 7 hull points in total. Means that the knight is dead. I just got fisted to death.
Outstanding.
Told you so, brains.
Outstanding result. Let's see what happens on the catastrophic damage table. 2.
Oh, it's a 2.
After that apocalyptic finish, 2 more Gal Vorbak perished in the blast. But that's it for the Word Bearers this turn. It's 1 savage turn of retaliation, I think.
The Ultramarines are feeling it.
That. Yep. Outstanding result.
I'm happy now.
We'll see. Lorgar is standing right in front of your front door.
I know.
Knock, knock.
Ultramarines turn 3 movements. Guilliman has instructed his driver to rev up the engines and get him into the battle quicker. So that was, his vehicle has moved a mighty 18 inches straight towards the enemy. The Spartan has pivoted to try and make his weapons count, firing into the armour that is down the other end of the battlefield. The Terminators have advanced forward towards the objective. The Rhino has also turned. He's going to put his firepower to use. The Xiphon has sped across the table to go down there. He can only snap fire this turn, so that's a bit rubbish. But something's better than nothing, I guess. The Leviathan has stomped his way forward. He's going to lay down lots and lots of firepower and then charge into those Galvorback. Whilst the Heavy Volkite squad over there, they're going to warm up their weapons, and I think Lorgar's going to wear it. That's pretty much it for the Ultramarines movement phase. Ultramarines turn 3 shooting, so we're warming it up, trying to do what we can. The Terminators open up into the plasma gun squad, which was in front of the target building, wiping them out. My Contemptor opened up into the Xiphon, and it jinked, so it got away with it, luckily enough. My Quad Mortar in the centre opened up onto the Rhino, carrying the plasma gun squad, and took that out. The Spartan also opened up onto that, and also onto the Marigal Dreadnought, but all the cover saves and vulnerable saves in the world were passed, so that was really good, lucky for him. The Volkite squad didn't really do very much at all. The Lightning opened up, but could only snapshot, so missed with his shots. So that was pretty ineffective, really. When we got down to the far end, though, the Leviathan opened up and absolutely ripped the Galvorback asunder.
They didn't see that coming, did they?
Leaving only 2.5 Galvorback left. The Rhino opened up into Lorgar. The reason for this was so that I can utilise the Ultramarines special rule, where anything with the Legion as a Astartes Ultramarines gets to re-roll 1s on the failing to wound results. So I'm now going to open up with my Volkite Culverins into Lorgar. 36 Volkite Culverin shots into Lorgar, hitting on 2s because of the Master of Signals. Let's see how this goes. 2 cocked. Reroll those. 33 hits, and now I need 4s to wound because it's strength 6, toughness 6. However, I get to reroll 1s. That's cocked. Lorgar called upon the Dark Gods to use the special rule that he has called Dark Fortune, which forces me to re-roll any 5s or 6s that I have already rolled to hit or to wound him. So I've got 6 wounds caused by 4, so I don't need to re-roll those. However, the other 14 that I managed to successfully get through, I've got to re-roll. As a result, after re-rolling, I managed to fail with a further 6 wounds, which brings it down from 20 wounds in total down to 14. So it's 14 armor saves for Lorgar on a 2+.
Right, Lorgar saves inbound.
Ooh, there's a few ones in there.
But okay, it's still standing.
We have 1, 2, 3 of the rounds gone through. Now, because it's the Volkite, they get the Deflagrate rule. So, therefore, I get to re-roll these and try to wound again. So, it's on a 4, 5, or 6. And I get to re-roll 1s, which is lucky. So, I get another 2, forcing another 2 armor saves. Because of the Dark Martyrs rule, I have to re-roll those 2 6s, which is still wounded. Okay. So, it's another 3 armor saves. 2 armor saves. Which he passed. So Lorgar, from all of those rounds, 36 shots, I managed to cause 3 wounds. Turn 3 Ultramarines combat. So the Leviathan charged in through the smoke, inflicted 3 wounds from Hammer of Wrath, and then the Galvorback failed all 3 armor saves. 1 was already on 1 wound, so that took out 2 Galvorback in total. He then fluffed his attacks. He only hit with 1, and the Galvorback, because of the psychic power that was already on them, saved his invulnerable save, and then he failed to do anything back to him. So because he's fearless, I am locked in combat with that Galvorback. And that brings the Ultramarine turn 3 to an end. I'm pretty happy. Lorgar is bloodied, the Chaplain is bloodied, the Galvorback are whittled down, lots of tanks have gone boom, some plasma guns are dead. It's a pretty good turn.
Savage retaliation right there. Wordbearer's turn 3. Managed to get the Lightning Strike Fighter on, so he's going to swoop in and reinforce this flank that is bearing the full brunt of a Ultramarine counter-attack. The veterans have deployed in the attempt to gun them down in the open on the approach to the ruins. The Xiphon is now chasing the Ultramarine Lightning. So hopefully we'll get some lucky shots in on that one. We've got some plasma support squads. They are hunkered down between the wreckage, holding the objective. So hopefully they'll survive a little bit longer. Melter guns are advancing across no man's land, so hopefully they're going to try and sneak in a couple of extra shots. The Contemptors are on the assault now. We're going to try and take that Leviathan down, and the lone Gal Vorbeck is standing his ground. I think he's a bit stunned, to be honest, after that train wreck of an assault. So hopefully he's going to give it all he's got. Lorgar, he's basically stomping his way through to the Volkite support squads. So see if he can get some retaliation in there with his chaplain brethren.
The Lightning's just come on. I'm going to open up with Interceptor from my Contemptor into the Lightning. So I'm hitting on 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. That's 2 hits. It's strength 9. The armour is 11. So I need 2s to glance.
And I've
3s to penetrate. Are you going to...
I'm not going to jink, no.
You're
I'm going
not
to take
gonna
the
jink.
chances.
Oh.
I'd already declared that, but I wanted to let off the Krakens if I can.
That's 2 penetrating hits.
This is not going to go.
Oh, man. Well, you're already dead.
I know.
Let's see what happens to it. If I get a 6, you crash and burn. No, I don't. But you're just dead.
Wordbearers, turn 3, Psychic Phase. Zardu managed to cast his Spontaneous Combust on the Terminators, as most of his other stuff was out of range, but unfortunately failed to wound. And then Lorgar cast his Presence Spell on himself to ensure he is hitting, well, he's got his reroll. Wordbearers, turn 3, Shooting. What a catastrophe. I thought I'd take the chance, I'd bring that lightning in. Oh, shot down. Oh, just, no, doesn't happen. But there you go. So anyway, I thought I'd try and halt these Terminators and the relentless advance as they slowly march across no man's land. What an utter letdown. They must have just been completely distracted by that lightning-shaped fireball as it was streaking across the battlefield there. All the veterans managed to hit, managed to wound, but just completely shrugged them off like it was nothing. Hailstorm.
The Emperor
protects. The Emperor protects, something like that. Yeah, I think the Dark Gods are just baffled by that last one. So yeah, so that was a bit of a letdown, really. Plasma guns thought they'd take the chance at the whole gets hot thing. Bit of double tap at the sky randomly, taking a cheeky shot at the lightning, zipping in there. Failed to hit, but unfortunately for me, nobody got hot. The Xiphon thought they'd get a cheeky shot off on the lightning, but again managed to every jink save, not a problem. Shrugged it off like it was nothing. Guy's clearly been to Top Gun school. We've got the Melter guys again charging across there. Bit of a run move in there. Hopefully we'll get within range of that Rhino. Start to heat up that lovely polished blue armor over there. The Lorgar, he's advancing. He's about to kick that door through. Managed to get a shot off with his arc pistol, but again, invuln save off the cover there. But fortunately, his chaplain backing him up managed to throw a couple of bolt pistol shots in there and dropped one of the guys. So Wordbearer's turn 3 Assault. Managed to get in there with the chaplain. He took the full brunt of the Volkite support team there and completely turned to a cloud of ash, but in doing so he sacrificed himself for Lorgar to storm those fortifications, so he's in. The Contemptor on the hill managed to throw himself at the Leviathan, so he's in combat, but unfortunately the Demon Contemptor has failed. He's fallen short, so unfortunately we're man down on the combat already. Combat with the Leviathan, it's not gone so well. The Gal Vorbeck tried his hardest, but unfortunately failed to penetrate it. The Leviathan then got to strike first as the Contemptor was assaulting through cover, so he was at base initiative.
1.
Yep. Again, he failed to do any damage, and then the Contemptor tried his hardest, but again, couldn't get through the blue paintwork, so it's a standoff. Lorgar on the charge, 4 attacks base, 5 for the charge, needing 3s to hit, 2 or more to kill. Here we go. We've got 2 misses, but we get to re-roll those because of the precedence. 4 hits, killing on 2s.
4 dead Ultramarines. Okay, so combat resolution. The Ultramarines couldn't get into combat because they didn't have enough distance in their 3-inch consolidation. So the resulting combat was a heavy defeat to the Ultramarines. However, because they are within 6 inches of Captain Remus Ventanus and his personal standard, they are fearless. So they are standing there and fighting for another day.
Hold the line.
Ultramarines turn 4. The advance has been led. Guilliman has got out of his Land Raider and made his way towards the beacon. He is going to do his best to get in there in the thick of things and have a good old scrap. We've got the Terminators also advancing with the Chaplain and the Apothecary, who have also got out of the Land Raider. The Terminators are going to do their best to get in and get an initial assault in. Moving across the board, the Spartan has moved 6 inches towards what is now a stricken Leviathan, who's pretty much holding that end of the battlefield. Because Lorgar is tying up the Volkite Culverins. There's not really a lot of Ultramarines left over there. The Rhino boosted himself up 12 inches towards the objective, which is currently being held by the Tactical Support Squad with plasma guns. They're going to try and do something to take that one, or maybe there's another one somewhere else that we can get. The Xiphon zoomed another 18 inches across the table. Unfortunately, because he jinked last turn, we can only snapfire again, as it seems to have been going the whole way through. And finally, the last Rhino, with the last tactical squad down towards the far end of the table, has reversed back with some protection needed with all the advancing word bearers. He has another 10-man tactical squad inside, which can be another line of defense against an on-rushing Primarch. Ultramarines turn 4 shooting, starting off with the Terminators. They opened up into Zardu Layak and the Blade Slaves, killing 1 Blade Slave, leaving 1 on 1 wound. Zardu Layak managed to successfully look out Sir several times, keeping himself alive. Guilliman opened up into the veteran squad inside the building, along with his squad, taking down 2 members of the squad. Then the Land Raider popped a few shots in, didn't really do much because of the cover. The Spartan popped 2 quad las cannons rearwards back into that squad, meaning that I can take advantage of the Legiones Astartes Ultramarines rule where I can reroll 1s to wound, which I then did with the Volkite Culverins. Not Volkite Culverins, Volkite Calivers. Took a couple of casualties on the squad, which was good. I followed it up with a quad mortar, which I did another 2 wounds, causing them to take a pinning check at -1, which they still passed because they can see Lorgar, so they're all good. Continuing down, the Spartan used its other 2 shots and shot into the back of the Demon Dreadnought, the Margal, killing it, which was a great result. Because if he got into combat with that Leviathan, I reckon that Leviathan will be dead very soon. The second quad mortar opened up into the Plasma Support Squad in the middle of the table, doing a big fat nothing. And that rounds up the shooting phase for Ultramarine turn 4. Turn 4 assault phase for the Ultramarines. Rubbish. The Terminators charged in to Zardu Layak and the Blade Slaves. Killed the Blade Slave. However, Zardu managed to survive. I also killed the Rhino because I did a disordered charge. So, yeah, nothing too spectacular, but I suppose it saves them from getting shot at next turn. Moving across the battlefield, we had the Leviathan, the Contemptor, and the one last Galvorback, and it was a complete stalemate. I managed to get absolutely no hits on the Contemptor. The Galvorback and the Contemptor put 1 hit each onto me, and I made my invulnerable saves, luckily enough. So that was a big fat nothing. Then on to Lorgar. Lorgar wiped out 4 members of the squad. And I held my ground again because I'm fearless due to the Remus Ventanus being within 6 inches of me and his personal standard making me fearless.
Turn 4, word bearers. Okay, so the it's looking pretty grim on this flank. It's a death or glory charge out of the building, really. Zardu's locked up in combat. He's going to fight down to the last man, I think, there. He's instructed his remaining Marines to go out in a hail of fire and glory, so blood themselves for the Dark Gods, see how many we can take down with us. Rhino's leaving the field of battle there to get a cheeky snapshot off on the rear of the Rhino that's transporting the additional squad of TAC Marines to try and steal that objective. The Xiphon is closing in rapidly with the enemy lightning. Fortunately, he's not had to perform any jink manoeuvres or anything of that sort of nature, so we've got full ballistic skill. Going to try and blow him out the sky now. Get another kill on there. The Dreadnoughts and Leviathan are all locked up in combat presently, so let's just see how that one pans out. Really, it's a desperate struggle. The melter guns are advancing on the enemy line. Try and get some last few shots into the guns in the building. The plasma gun squad are just holding their own. Really, they're pinned down now. It's looking pretty grim, so let's just see how it all plays out. Word bearers, turn 4, psychic phase and shooting phase. So we're off to a good start. Lorgar's cast his precedence on himself, so he can re-roll all failed to hits. The melter guns opened up on the lightning, but unfortunately failed to hit the target. The Dreadnoughts are still locked up in combat, so there's not really much to see there. They're having a good old fisticuffs. The Xiphon, currently trying to chase down the lightning, opened up with everything, but pretty much jinked the whole lot. So lightning was a lucky man until the plasma gun squad decided to go in with a few crafty snapshots and managed to take him down. So yeah, surprise all round, really. I didn't think you saw that one coming. Then the word bearers have gone for their valiant final assault. Bolt guns blazing, charged out the ruins, and managed to wound a chaplain. The rest of it was pretty much shrugged off by those awesome boarding shields, so it's time to get to hand-to-hand combat. Word bearers, turn 4, assault phase. So, as we were expecting, the valiant last stand as they charged out with bolt guns blazing didn't go so well. They hit the shields and got absolutely butchered. So, valiant effort, but they are no more.
A really good point to put in here is this is one of the biggest strengths of the Logos Lectora, is that each turn they can choose one special rule, whether it be counter attack, they get to shoot at ballistic skill 2, or they get fleet. I chose counter attack because I was going to be charged, so this was really good. I got an extra attack as everybody charged in, and because of the boarding shields causing everything to be disordered charge, the word bearers lost all of their charging bonuses, so they lost attacks and I gained attack in the word bearers assault phase.
Moving on to the remaining combat with the Leviathan, the Contemptor and the remaining Galvorbak. It was toe to toe. The Contemptor fought valiantly and managed to inflict 2 hull points on the Leviathan before it was beaten to the ground. So a valiant effort there, but unfortunately he's no longer with us. The Galvorbak is still hanging in there. He's not going anywhere. He's managed to hit the Leviathan again, but unfortunately didn't penetrate it. Lorgar managed to finally cut through the remaining support squads and take down the Master of Signals in the process before consolidating into the ruins to face down Ventanus. This should be interesting. In addition to that, he managed to get a wound back with a 5-up, it will not die.
Ultramarines turn 5 as a summary, and not much happened apart from a few little bits of mopping up. So the objective is secured. That's good. So Imperium Secondus is safe. We had some pot shots from the Land Raider into the Xiphon, of which it evaded. I then used the Spartan to kill the Rhino that was right in front of him. Moving across, the tactical squad moved and got out of their Rhino, surrounding the plasma support squad. They opened fire into him. The Volkites opened fire into him. The Quad Mortar opened fire into him. And the amount of saves that came in was incredible. The Dark Gods were seriously watching that squad. There is one member of them left. Moving across the battlefield, the Leviathan finally mopped up the last of the Galvor back and has now advanced a little more, spotting a worthy foe across the other side of the rock. Uriel Vaintanus, he found his courage and charged into Lorgar. It was a fool's courage. He was never going to beat a Primarch, and he took his mace to the face. Luminarium is now splattered with a great Ultramarine hero's blood. That draws up a conclusion to Ultramarine turn 5.
Webbearers turn 5. Right, summary in general. Valiant last sort of effort, really. The Plasma Gun squad stood the ground. There's not much they can do. Past leadership, opened fire. Unfortunately, failed to wound. The Xiphon zipped in, attempted to take a few shots at the Leviathan with snap shooting, unfortunately, because he jinked, hit the target but didn't penetrate. The remaining Melter Gun squad thought they'd try the best to hit the rear armour of there, ran in, hit the target, couldn't penetrate it. But it's all down to Lorgar, really. He seems to be the man of the match thus far. Managed to assault the tac squad, wipe them out, and is now contesting the objective.
Ultramarines and Wordbearers, final turn, wrap up of the game. Wasn't a great deal to go on. There was not much left on the table. However, the Ultramarines army pretty much all together shot at the Xiphon. It jinked and jinked and jinked and then jinked again off of the board and flew back up to space to tell heroic tales of what might have been. The tactical squad peppered the remaining plasma gunner to death on the, he's now bloody pulp at their feet. The Leviathan used its grab flux, bombard, and crumpled the 3 melter gunners into a pulp. And then Lorgar did his thing, charged through and failed to kill the Rhino. Huzzah! He actually failed to do something.
This is a first.
So yeah, a good turn in the eyes of the Ultramarines. Ed?
Yeah, Wordbearers. I think they valiantly stood up to the Ultramarine guns at the end. It was a bit more of a final execution, to be honest, but they did the thing. The Xiphon managed to jink everything. I'm not sure about making it back to space. I think he probably had to ditch it in the field next door. That thing must have been whistling and rattling. It was that full of flak. Lorgar, I think his swinging arm's getting a bit tired, to be honest. Yeah, he put a big dent in the front of there. I think he'll flip it over if we've got a further turn. But I think that's it for us. I think lick the wounds. Yeah, let the Ultramarines finish off the victims of the day. That's about it, really.
Great stuff, guys. So
Excellent.
It's a really good game, and we're going to go back out the front to give the victory points and the final scores. Is that all right?
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Outstanding.
We're back. What a game. 5,000 points. Ultramarines versus Wordbearers.
Yep.
I won't delay on the score. 27 to the Ultramarines, 10 to the Wordbearers. Congratulations, Matt. Good work.
All hail the boys in blue. The glorious 13th.
Savage.
Good work. Ed, we'll start with you first. You did an amazing job. You commanded Andy Rutter's Wordbearers army, an army that we were all quite unfamiliar with, I think it's fair to say.
Very privileged to have used those, so thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
You did a great job, so thank you for coming in and commanding. Matt, you did a sterling job there. Some good firepower, good spread along the board.
Yeah, I think my army wasn't any one single particular focus of good stuff. It is just what the Ultramarines do best, and they just all help each other.
Yeah.
And it across the board, they all came together to get the job done.
There was a bit of everything in your whole list as well. It wasn't particularly focused in one particular area. There was quite a bit of everything.
Yeah.
And also same with the Wordbearers. It was quite a rounded list, I thought.
Yeah. They've got to get up close and personal, I think, to pack the punch. I think they were outranged early on.
Yeah.
But I think once they got in there, held the ground, I think it became quite a gritty, resolved conflict. This.
Yeah, and particularly, you know, the Knight charged in, took the Mastodon out, which was pretty spectacular, and then those Galvor back got out, and then took the Knight. I mean, when we were filming, I said, no, it's not going to happen. Knight's just going to do it.
And I said, he's dead. He's dead. And it went all the way through, and it came down to the last swing of the Power Fist on the Dark Martyr to take him down. And I had a funny feeling right from the start that it was going to happen. I was telling you, it will happen. You were like, no, it won't.
Slowly
and it did.
Dismembered.
Slowly.
It was good.
Massive impact in the game though. It was great. Really good, fun, spectacular moment, and had us all like biting nails.
Yeah. We're on the edge of our seats, weren't we? Yeah. Now you both brought back some models. So Ed, we'll start with you. You brought back.
Keep it brief, but I think toe to toe, it's got to be the Galvor back, the last man standing, keeping it with that Leviathan for 3 turns.
Great job.
Just kept swinging. It took a lot to take the guy down. So I think excellent effort on his behalf. But the Lightning, I wouldn't say it was a letdown. I think it was a poor decision on my behalf, but I had to take the chance. I just had to stop that Land Raider. I had to, if I could have slowed Gullivan down. I said before I even deployed him, I thought, I cannot jink this turn. I have to get them Kraken missiles off. And he got flambéed. I mean, that was just a blazing meteorite of just fresh destruction that I think distracted all my boys on the ground. So.
But I think the argument to that, though, is if Matt hadn't taken a contemptor with those las cannons at range, you would have got away with it.
I think so.
It was a big board, you would have been okay.
Yeah, and I think
4 Kraken penetrators into the side of a Land Raider equals dead Land Raider.
And then that would have left both vet squads the opportunity there to, with Sniper, to just unleash havoc from those ruins. And then I could have potentially got those rhinos in the way to deny an initial charge. Just swept in there, but again...
Oh, I love it.
A shame, but I think Lorgar's got to be the man of the match for myself. He just, once he got out on the field, he was just casting the buffs, got in there. I don't think his May stopped swinging for the best part of 3 or 4 turns.
He absolutely
just wiped
Ultramarines off left, right and centre.
Yeah,
and we were really conscious of that as well, because we didn't want to Primarch on Primarch because they just ended up a massive slogfest. Nothing really happened.
Yeah.
You know, Matt, as you said at the beginning before we started all this, you wanted to showcase what a Primarch can do in the ranks of an opposing army, and hopefully that's what we've done here.
Definitely.
So if anyone's wondering why we didn't put Lorgar against your man, that's Gilliman, thank you, I forgot momentarily. That's the reason why we wanted to show what they're like into the ranks of the troops, and I think it worked really well.
Absolutely. Both Primarchs ripped squads apart.
Sure.
Lorgar more so than Gilliman, because Gilliman spent most of his time hiding in his chariot.
They had different opportunities, didn't they?
Yeah. But Lorgar just took them apart.
It was good.
Squad after squad after squad, character after character. I think he scored 5 victory points on himself.
Yeah. Hitting on 3s, killing on 2s, bomb, then wiping the squad. It did really well. And Matt, you've brought back your Lancer.
Yeah, so I had a bit of a tough choice because, like I say, nothing in my army on itself performed particularly well because they all worked well collectively. So I went for the thing that had us all cheering and had the biggest impact, I think, because it killed a massively, heavily expensive point models and achieved his personal target. He avenged his fallen brothers by taking out that chosen target.
Good stuff. Good. Well, I hope you both have enjoyed the day.
Yes.
I'd like to thank you again for coming over. Ed, again, thank you for commanding Saunter's army, and thanks to Andy Rutter for lending his gear to us. So
definitely.
Appreciate that. I'd love to have you both back. You have Iron Hands, is that right?
Indeed, yeah.
You're painting a lot at the moment, is that right?
That's right, yeah. It's been a 2.5 year build alone. So expect to see nearly 20,000 points of infantry and tank spam hitting the field
next week.
Right?
Yeah, next week, yeah.
It'd be good. Let's hope, but we'll see how we go.
And it's also noting as well, Lee Langford has been with us today, and he's been in the background doing rules for us, making sure we're getting stuff right. He's been taking photos and really kind of assisting. So we're looking at him right now. So thank you so much.
Good effort, man.
Really appreciate that. And also, Matt and I have been in Peterborough. We filmed the whole weekend over 2 days. You two have travelled back and forth from Nottingham every day. So thank you so much for doing that.
No problem at all.
Now, those photos I spoke of that Lee's been taking, you can see them on the Facebook page, and we will share them up when the game goes live. Matt, we're looking forward to your next course, of course.
September 30th and 1st of October.
Fantastic.
At Firestorm Games in Cardiff.
Brilliant. And if you want to get on that course, spaces are still available?
Yeah, the tickets are now up for sale, and we'll be getting the posters up around everywhere to show them off soon.
Awesome news. I really hope you guys at home have enjoyed this game. We've put a lot of hard work and effort into bringing this to 4 guys' time over the whole weekend. So hopefully you've enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next game.